See stories, Amy Winehouse, Whitney Houston, we just saw. I mean,
well,
you're here.
You know, don't count me out yet. You're idiots.
We're idiots and we're simple and we're just, you'll love us.
Dave speaks for Dave.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
So how are you?
I'm fucking exhausted.
Really? It's
I
like a
didn't
grind,
sleep well. I
huh?
left my medication at the, no, it's not a grind at all. I just left my medication at the theater, and so I didn't go to sleep till some odd hour. So I'm crabby.
Well, that's going to do it for today.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for...
Carrie,
I'm
man.
crabby for me. That means not really. But I've been reading about the funeral home place here in Houston where you can go and
The funeral
cater
museum.
a funeral.
Went to a cocktail party there one day. It was a blast.
Really?
Yeah, they had an exhibit called The Burial Coffins of Ghana. And these people that in Ghana carve, when you die, especially if you have some kind of wealth or whatever, you can have the coffin made however you want. And there was this one rich man that lived there that always wanted a Mercedes. So they carved this Mercedes out of wood that was actually his coffin and buried him in it. And they had some of the examples. It was really cool.
Oh, so they took him out?
No. They had one that was similar like it. That was kind of like it, not the one they actually planted him in the ground.
No, it said they had another Mercedes that belonged to Princess Grace. What does that mean? That she died in? That's not a funeral.
Well,
That's a death.
They have like hearse from every
Yes,
possible.
they said they
Where
had
is
a
it at?
miniature
It's up in North
hearse
Houston.
of Lincoln.
And there's one room in the corner. It's an embalming table, and how they did it in like the 1800s, and all the equipment is there and stuff. And as you sip your margarita and walk around the whole place, it's weird, but it's very cool.
I mean, you have to go to a cocktail
No,
party
they
there?
give you a tour. You can just walk on in. It's the largest funeral director
I'm
company
so
home base,
going.
and yeah, it's worth seeing. It's fun. It's neat.
That's what I want. That and the beer house.
The beer can house.
The beer can house, where it says in the thing, you know, even though the owners have passed on, they've left it to be enjoyed for future generations.
Right.
Like
Yep.
thousands of generations of people are going to want to see
It's
this.
curated by the Orange Show.
What is the Orange Show?
The Orange Show, there was an artist, there was a sculptor in Houston that he was kind of obsessed with the orange, and he would sculpt or make all this weird folk art around inspiration from the orange. And this kind of folk museum grew up around him. So when he passed on as well, artist community here in Houston said, look, this is a landmark, we need to make this, we need to keep this alive. So you can rent it out for parties or just visit it, and the Beer Can House has now become part of this organization's curated sites. Kind of funky.
Where did you see all these things? Because I've lived here my whole life. It was in your book that you were reading?
I keep reading any books they put in front of me.
Now I want to go to this funeral museum.
Well, let's talk about your show, because...
Are we on the air now?
Let's go. Ready? Yeah, this is when we're going to start it.
We're rolling.
All right.
So I haven't seen it yet. Our good friend and colleague Chris McDonald saw it last night, and he just raved about it, said it was just amazing. So I guess congratulations for having this great show. I haven't seen it yet.
I know.
Yeah.
No, it was really fun last night. Big theater. It's like I said that you should do La Traviata here. You know, it's like a huge opera house. I mean, I have a big personality, but it's never been housed in this big of a place. So that is massive. What usually plays here?
A lot of Broadway.
Disney actually built this place. This is where they launched Beauty and the Beast, like 6 years ago, the touring edition. But Disney, the architects, built this place, and they do Broadway. It's tons of shows are here, and it's
a cool place. It's a great hall.
This is the venue that you want to be at.
For this size, yeah.
It's just amazing.
It's so big.
I got to tell you something funny. Yesterday I did an interview with George Takei.
Oh, that's
Sulu.
the guy from, yeah.
And I asked him a question. I said, so he's coming in town for this Comic Palooza thing that they're doing in Houston. I asked him about Star Trek and the fact that, you know, what he thinks about looking back at the career and things like that. And you made a couple of comments over the years. He was very appreciative. He said, hey, that's what launched my career. You know, that's what set everything in motion for me. So he said, as long as they're doing these conventions, I'll be there. Princess Leia, of course, Star Wars, that's you. But I read that at one point you even said you kind of didn't want the role, or you regretted taking it.
Fucking endless this thing is. No, that's not true. I pursued it. I wanted it. I don't regret it. People want me to, okay, I regret it. God, I hate it. My whole life has been ruined by it. They always ask me, what am I tired of being asked? I'm tired of being asked if I'm tired of being asked.
Right.
So, why did I get the job if I didn't want it?
I'm so glad I didn't ask that question.
No, I'm glad I did, because obviously I've never met you before, but you're right. That is the one thing that comes up in the press. You know it too. You just said it. So I'm glad that, you know, you and I have a chance to just get that out of the way right off the top.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's a lot of it in the show. It's your life, and
It's
again,
part of my life.
yeah, well, you know, I never had a chance to ask you that one-on-one, and there you go. You just addressed it for me.
Okay, good.
Right on.
So out of everything you've done, you know, acting, writing, and every other project you've ever been involved with, what do you think? What would you say really stands out? And you're like, wow, you know, that was just such a blast to do as part of my career.
Dancing, Greek folk dancing.
Really?
Other people haven't noticed it, but it's really my favorite part of my career. I don't know. I prefer, I don't know. I like doing this. I like working, you know, live. And we'll see how it compares to the funeral home thing, but I think I prefer live.
The show, you're pretty open about the show, Wishful Thinking, of course, story of your life, and you're pretty open about addiction and the battles that you had, you know, dealing with it. In fact, I was reading some of the stuff. I think you were Lindsay Lohan before Lindsay Lohan. I mean,
No, I wasn't Lindsay Lohan.
But you've been very open about
How
that.
old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay,
So,
you can't wear this on your eyebrow for that much longer.
okay, that's fine. Boy, you're just beating me up today.
Awesome.
Let's talk about addiction though, because you know.
I didn't battle it. It won. I never tried to battle it. I just said, bring it on. Oops, I took too much. I better go.
Yeah, but you're sitting right here with us, and we see stories. Amy Winehouse, Whitney Houston, we just saw. I mean,
Well,
you're here.
don't count me out yet. Yes, I'm here. I am here. I don't understand the Whitney Houston. Those were both alcohol drug related deaths, though, too. And I weirdly could never drink alcohol. I mean, I drank it if there was nothing else around, so that's why I qualify as an alcoholic. Just for me, it was anywhere but here. So, but alcohol was always rough. I always said I was allergic to it, which is how they define alcoholism. So, you know, and I think my thing is, you know, I was a major opiate pill addict. Not opiates all the way, because then there would be heroin, which was too much for me. So I didn't win that battle. So, you know, I did give up after a long period of time. I was never much of a party girl. I did my drugs at home, so that's why I balk at the Lindsay Lohan, you know, similarity question.
Do you want people to walk away though from your experiences to say, look, I better not do this in my life? I mean, are you trying to be a self-help type?
No.
Okay.
The only thing I can say that I could recommend is to not be ashamed of anything, and to find a community if you have issues with anything, and talk to other people that have it. But I would never really say do what I did.
Well, you mentioned you really like this part of it. You like being on the stage, and you love doing this show. You're here, you know, for a few days doing it. How long will you be on the road, and do you
I'm
like?
done.
Oh, really?
This is it.
Okay.
I've done it for several years now. So this is the last time I do it. We send all the stuff from the stage home. It's over.
You don't think you'll get the itch in a little while and say, you know what, it's time to do,
But
I want to get back there?
But then I have to write a whole other thing. So, no. No, I don't know what I'll do, but for right now, this is it for this. And I did really like doing this, but, you know, unless I was going to go do stand-up, and I always thought I was too short for stand-up. So...
Dave knows lots of comedians, and they're all about that big.
Well, then I should probably do it.
Yeah, let's do it together. I just played at the House of Blues about a month ago, so we get up here together.
Cool.
And I'll ask you the Star Wars questions. I'm kidding. You grew up around Hollywood royalty. I mean, your whole life is, you know, of course, your mom and dad, and you just got stories about growing up around that. Can you share a little bit about just what it was like to grow up with, I mean, Debbie Reynolds, Eddie Fisher, stuff like that?
Well, so I always said I don't really know. I have nothing else to compare it to, so for me it was normal, which is weird. I didn't see a lot of my father. My mother, you know, worked a lot. And so I was an observer. I watched it. You know, it seemed, I don't know, like rubbernecking. I knew something was weird about it. It was very presentational. So I watched it, even I was sort of on the inside looking out, but I felt like an outsider on the inside. I didn't mean that about my insides, the inside of me anyway.
I was born in the same city as your mom, El Paso, Texas.
Ah, it's not a city, it's a shanty town, isn't it?
Well, you said it, not me.
Yeah,
How is mom?
I've been there.
How is mom, by the way?
She's good, really good. Well, she has a friend of hers that's very sick, so that's upsetting. So, but otherwise, you know, we share custody of a dog. She's good. We live next door to each other.
So that is true.
That is true.
And she still calls you and says, "This is your mother"?
She says now, "Hello, dear, this is your mother. Notice I didn't say Debbie," so it's evolving now. But it's her automatic thing of saying, "This is your mother, Debbie."
So I've got to ask, because, you know, you've been in the business for so long, and like Dave said, you know, you grew up with parents in the business, and it seems that, you know, we live in the age of reality TV, and Fox especially has a couple of huge shows, American Idol for one. It's all about kind of making these instant celebrities and finding these, you know, the season of the show runs 3 months, and we have a contestant from down the street in Westlake, Louisiana. This kid had never been on a plane, and suddenly he's in the top 3 up for the $1 million prize in the recording contract. And
In what?
American Idol. He's one of the contestants that's could win this thing.
Right.
So how do you think, you know, like stars of today, or you know, the kind of the new way that we kind of manufacture these famous people differs from back when you got started?
I think probably it's just as valid to become a celebrity that way as. Look, something fell.
Yeah, it's your mic pack.
All right. I think it's just as valid. You know, we probably always had things like that. You know, sensations. They're more sensations than celebrities. It's something less enduring about it, and you know, then it's like sort of, we'll see if they, you know, these people that work. What's the difference of going to college and learning to be a celebrity, or, you know? So this guy's talented that lives near you. I don't watch that show, so.
Do you watch any shows? Do you have any like favorite TV shows, or you just kind of stay away?
I
from it
like
altogether?
Downton Abbey, but I can't figure out when it's on. But my TV saves it. No, yeah, I like a lot of different ones, but I haven't watched that many reality shows. I figure I was always trying to escape from reality. Why, you know, pursue it knowingly? But you know, so I don't really watch those things.
Good point.
Do you watch Family Guy?
No. But I'm in it.
That's why I'm asking you, Angela.
Yeah. Is that really much of a character, though? I don't go
Yes.
there that often. Really?
Peter's boss.
But not much. I recorded that much of it. Am I on it that much?
Well, as many times as they show it. I've seen you a bunch. Well, your voice on Family Guy.
No, I haven't watched. I sort of should. I don't watch cartoons, you know. But no, so I went back and watched South Park Mormon show, so that was funny.
Really funny.
So I guess I'm going to catch up with these things later on. But I don't watch cartoons.
Well, now you don't have the show to do, so you're gonna have a little
I'm
more
going to be
time.
watching lots of cartoons. No, I like watching old movies, and I really like Netflix, so I get all caught up in that.
How do you want people to remember Carrie Fisher? What people should, when they say the name Carrie Fisher, how do you want people to think of you?
Fondly. I don't know. I was just reading something, someone saying the late something or other. I thought we're all going to end up being the late something or other. You know, that I was kind there. Not so much today because I'm crabby, but you know, kind.
You're not crabby.
Damn.
You're not. You're just as sweet as can be, I can tell.
Well, I'm crappy today. I have to go back to sleep.
Well, I just think that it's great that you are so open about your life like this, and you do share it with people, and you turn it into, is it kind of a therapy for you?
Therapy's therapy, you know, I think just in terms of, usually the stuff that I share about already came out, so if it's gonna be out there, you're gonna hear my version then. I don't come running into the room and saying, all right, I want you all to know that. So it's just changing a rumor. So that's what I do.
So that's all. He's going to just shoot a couple of cutaways. Well, thanks for not throwing a shoe at Dave. You know, I mean, that has happened in an interview before.
She would never throw a shoe at me.
No,
I've thrown a shoe at you before.
Yeah, he has. Hey, you know, we're done with this, but you said you were on Entertainment Tonight about a week ago with the whole John Travolta scandal that's going on.
Was?
Yes, you were. They showed you on Entertainment Tonight.
Why?
Because you made a reference to John in 2010. You made some comments.
I did not, here's what I did with that. Someone literally asked me one of those questions like, when did you stop beating your wife? So all you have to do is say, you know, well, so that's how I get into that, yeah. Because my thing about that is he can't be gay because he's a Scientologist. And they're not gay.
That's right.
They are not.
By Scientology rules.
That was the quote, too.
Yeah.
Was that the quote they have of
Yeah.
me? Really? Jesus Christ. Yeah. I don't know how I get in on that. Like, why am I the person that's supposed to comment on that kind of stuff? I don't know. How would I know anything?
That's kind of like the TMZ factor. It's like they'll recycle like one soundbite and put it with a different story, and you know the next thing it's on live that afternoon.
Yes,
You know?
that's too much.
It's crazy.
Do people come up to you and ask you to do the Princess Leia line?
No. And you can ask all you want, but I ain't doing it.
No, I wasn't going to. You're crabby. Why would I?
I'm headed to the
Then I get the
elevator
shoe,
before
right?
this escalates.
You can ask.
This is gonna go down the wrong
What's your favorite of your mom's movies? Do you have a favorite of hers?
Well, there's one called The Catered Affair I really like. I really like Singing in the Rain.
That's great.
I don't know. Might have to think about it.
I
But
got to meet her
that.
many years ago.
It was like when they did that big Hollywood top 100 movies of all time. I think that was like number 6 or something. It was like number 5 or number
great.
6. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's an awesome movie. It's my mom's favorite movie.
It's also at the ride at Disney World, which I was there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The great movie ride, there's a scene.
Okay.
All right. Do I have to
Thank you so
stay here
much.
with this on or something?